everyone, it's Sam here, and today I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous stadium wave card using one of the new pop-ups in the new pop-up mechanism die set. The stadium wave gives you this platform to decorate however you want. I've covered this one with the new florals, however you can, like I said, use this for any theme that you want. I think it's wonderful. All folds down into a 6x6 size. So let me show you how to make it. So in this video, I'm using my new bouquet builder die set. Beautiful florals. You can use this, you know, for many, many different cards. Then I'm using the pop-up mechanisms, and you want this die. So all three, it's all in one there. All of these dies will go through a standard die machine, but ones like this, maybe that one, an extender plate would be good to use because you can just pass it through in one go. But if you don't have an extender plate, if I just show you, for example, you know, that would sit on there, your cardstock underneath, tape it down, pass it through one way, and then just shift it across and then pass it through the other way, and then it would cut it all. But make sure you tape it down, and that way it won't shift. And then you want to pass this through 3 times through your die machine. So you've got 9 of these strips, and they will have the score lines, because you can see on here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines on each one, and you want it so that you have all of these little sections on the right hand side. This first score line will become a mountain fold, then you'll have another mountain, then a valley, and then finish with a mountain. Basically you want to have a little W shape here. You're going to add glue to that tab and stick it together so you create these little springs. Okay, so I'm just going to take my glue, I've already done all the others, just run that along and then just fold that down. Okay, and repeat that until you've got all 9 of your pieces. Then also use my lovely new paper pad music maker. You've got these lovely toppers, and then you've got florals and all your different kind of music images, and they're all kind of mixed together. So you can see here I've got the florals with the music notes, which I thought was a nice touch. And you've got your records, you've got all, like I said, all the different icons there, and then those sentiments. So this is a 6x6 card blank, and I cut my pattern paper to 5 3/4 squared, stuck that on the front, and then inside I have embossed, using white card, my new 3D embossing folder, which is notes and stars. 8x8, so you will need a larger die machine for that one. But I just wanted a nice white background because it's going to have a lot of colour added. So here are my wonderful flowers, which I have spent an afternoon building and colouring in. I've used my inks, and I'll just show you. These are, I guess, the palette of inks that I've used for the flowers, and these match the paper pad perfectly. So for example, this one here, I've used the seedless preserves. And if I just sit these next to, you know, the papers, you can see how well the seedless preserves complements. This was a card I made earlier, and again with that paper there, that's seedless preserves. You can see it matches really nicely. And then for the red tones, I've used the festive berries. I've got those 2 so far. And then for the oranges there, I think I used, I want to say it was wild honey. I don't think I mentioned that one in my other video. For the yellows, which I used here, you can see they go really nicely as well. And it was the fossilized amber and mustard seed. And then for the greens, all the leaves, I've used these ones here: evergreen bow, bundled sage, and enchanted mariner. So I die cut them all using white cardstock, and they will look like this. So I've just die cut and mix, because I know I'm going to want quite a few for this particular card style. So I've got the white background on these, and all I did to create that was cut it in white, and I've inked it up with, in this case, the festive berries. And then to get that solid kind of white piece on the back, I just die cut 2 pieces of cardstock together with the flower, and the one on the bottom will just cut enough around the outside but not the detail, and they're great to then back these die cut flowers. Same with that one there. Can you see the back is more solid? It's not cut right through. So just cut it once, ink it up, or if it's in coloured paper, and then cut it again, but with 2 layers of cardstock, and it's the bottom piece that you will keep and be able to back your flower. So to assemble these pieces here, so you want to open this one up. So with these ones here, the springy side will always face you. Now there are loads of ways that you can do this, so I'm hoping I'll be able to share quite a few different variations. For this one, I'm going to show you the most, I'd say, common way that you see it in a lot of cards, but there are, like I said, lots of other ways. All of these will line up with the centre fold there, okay? So you don't want it going over the fold, but certainly up to the fold. You're then going to stick your next one halfway over the one that's already down. So apart from the first one and the last one, all the ones in between will only be stuck to the previous one. None of these will be stuck to the card itself. Again, that one. And I do like a dry run, so just kind of sit them down first of all until all 9 are stuck down. Like I said, half over. Excuse my dog if you hear him in the background. And then you should have roughly ½ inch from that edge and this edge. Okay, that's just that dry run. That's how they're going to look. This one we will then add all the glue to and close the card so that sticks to that side. And obviously this one in a minute I'm going to stick down there. And then when you open the card, you'll have this wave, this fan of cardstock for you then to be able to decorate. So once you're happy, you know, that you've got all of those, I'm going to take my construction glue and I'm just going to add it to just to the back there of that first piece. And like I said, this one, come in about ½ inch from the edge there and just bring that up and just push it up to the fold there. Okay, now for all the next ones, I'm just going to use the quick grab glue and I just want to add the glue to half. So I'm adding it to the left hand side when I'm holding it like this, and then when I flip it over, it will then stick onto half of this. If you want to mark with a pencil, you can, but it doesn't matter. Just eyeball it. It will be completely fine. You're just sticking each one roughly over half of the previous one. So again, just adding a little glue and then again over half. And just always keep it lined up with that original one. And just to check you're not kind of slightly going off, just always bring that up and make sure that you haven't gone over the fold. Okay, so continue that until you stuck them all down. Okay, so now you'll see at this point it will get quite springy. Now I have used a 300 USM cardstock, so there is now going to be obviously, you know, quite a bit of bulk there. It still will work fine, but if you want to do a lighter weight at 220, it will be fine as well. Now you can do a dry run. This will obviously move about here, but you can start to pull that, maybe just check that that one is all secure, but as it comes across, you see that lovely wave. Look at that, isn't that cool? So what you need to do next is just cover this last one with your glue. And be careful, don't go too thick with it. If you go near the edges, just make sure you spread it out a bit so it doesn't, you don't want it to stick obviously that piece down. And then just close the card up and just give that a minute to dry. Okay, and then once you're happy it's all stuck down, again I'm just going to pinch that last one, but open it up and you will have your wave all ready to decorate, and it should lay completely flat. You could do them with a 1/4 inch, you know, between each one. So this has got ½ inch, but you could do 1/4 inch. You could stick even more down. You could stick less and it would open, you know, you could just have a few and maybe have it more upright. The less you have, it will kind of stop it dropping right down. But certainly, you know, one to play around with. Like I said, I've got different orientations that you can do this in as well, and you can have different kind of patterns, so you can stagger it in different ways as well. The thing I like about this is you've got all this space to be able to stamp and write your message. So I'm probably going to have my message stamped down here, and then that could be, I know I've embossed on it, but that could be your space to write your message. Alternatively, you could have your message on the back there. So now to decorate, it's entirely up to you. All I would say is every time you stick something down is close the card to check that it does all close and that nothing is sticking out, because you've got about 1.5 to 2 inches here. So you can stick things, for example, like I could have that flower. Let's just tuck that in there. And then when I go to close it, that all, apart from a little bit there, but we can sort that out, it stays hidden. But you can see when it opens, how lovely does that look there. And then you can add like your leaves, could be underneath, like so. You could have another leaf coming over this way. I could do an even bigger one. Let's see, we could have like this one sticking right out, like so. But every time you do it, close the card and just check that it all hides underneath. And the idea is you want to stick something on every single piece so that you literally have this wave, for me, of flowers. But you can imagine this with any theme. You could have lots of cookies and cakes. You could have, you know, sports related theme. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to get this all stuck down and then I will show you it when it's all finished. And there is the finished card. And like I said, cover this with anything you want. I've used the florals today. You could have this covered in festive flowers, festive icons, birthday theme, good for New Year, fireworks, just anything. I think it's wonderful. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and how to put this mechanism together. If you are making any cards and you're on Facebook, do share them in our group, Mixed Up Crafters. Lots of members there will love to see the different cards that you make. It's a really lovely group, very active group as well. There's lots of inspiration there, so I do encourage you to go over. Products I've used today will be linked in the description box below this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today, and make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss out on any future videos. See you all again soon.